Sup, nerds? It's me, Professor J-Spear. They call me the Pokemon Professor. At least your mom does, anyway. Speaking of my favorites, today we're gonna talk about the best Pokemon. And no, this Nidoran is not one of them. Sorry, buddy. Sun's getting pretty low, isn't it? Yeah, don't worry. He's delicious candy now. What? I'm powering up my Nidoqueen. Anyway, check out this Mewtwo. Pretty dope, huh? Drawn to scale and everything. Yeah, I'm 7'2". What of it? Can't prove me wrong. I wanted to bring Mewtwo out because, well, to be honest, he's pretty much an honorable mention. You see, Mewtwo would never want to be on an actual team. We all know how that worked out last time, don't we? Don't we, little bro? Yeah, so you're good to go on this one. We're fine. We don't need you here. Maybe next time. Let me know how that game goes against LeBron. Okay? All right. That's right. Mewtwo is one of many surprising honorable mentions. The competition was fierce. I'll have to show you about like 10 honorable mentions per actual ideal teammates. Lock in, chat. This one was a doozy to sort through. You ready? This is J-Spear's ideal team. We're going to start with our honorable mentions categorized under legends. Legends. The world would basically be worse off without these guys. Ideally, the planet doesn't blow up just so I can run around with another Mon on my team. And the first one is Celebi. Or the second one, I guess. Mewtwo would be the first. This one's Celebi, second. It has the power to travel across time, but it is said to appear only in peaceful time. So there's two reasons why it's an honorable mention. One is because there's only one in existence, right? Across all timelines. And two, it only appears in peaceful times, and I'm only really ever going to need him in non-peaceful times. But shout out to Eterna Forest, the music that's playing right now. Eterna Forest OST is peak. What up, Taki? Okay, the next person on this list, the next Pokemon on this list is Latias. It's highly sensitive to the emotions of people. It senses any hostility. The Pokemon ruffles the feathers all over the body and cries shrilly to intimidate the foe. Shout out to the feathers. I didn't even know it had. Honestly, didn't even know it had. Cool Pokemon. I'm a big fan, but I wouldn't want to steal this from the world. Yeah, we're going to do Among Us at 9 p.m. CST, brother. 9 CST. Jirachi. This legend states, there's a legend that states that Jirachi is the wish maker. It'll make any wish come true that's written on the notes on its head once it's waking up. Here's the thing, Jirachi's asleep for like thousands of years. So that's why Jirachi didn't make the list, honestly. Meloetta. Its melodies are sung with a special vocalization method that can control the feelings of those who hear it. Many famous songs have been inspired by the melodies that Meloetta plays. I love this Pokemon because I'm a musician myself, and I respect the hustle. But I don't know. I don't really picture myself fighting with a Meloetta on my team, and I would be like a battling trainer. Marshadow is definitely a battler, but I don't know. I don't know too much about it. Never played Gen 7. I love that it's got the Shadow Box kind of mentality behind it, the lore. I love that it becomes stronger than those who it's imitating. I like that it can understand, people's feelings. And the last one on the honorable mentions list is Naganadel. I think that's how you pronounce it. This Ultra Beast was well liked enough to be chosen first as a first partner in its own world. We're talking about Poipole or Poipole. And it stores hundreds of liters in poisonous liquid inside its body. Here's my logic. Now we're talking about Naganadel, by the way. My logic behind that is if it's storing hundreds of liters of poisonous liquid, that means that that's hundreds of liters of poisonous liquid less in the world. So I wouldn't want to do that to the world. I would want to let this guy, do his thing. So, which Pokemon did I choose? Oh, shout out to the shinies, by the way. These are dope. I learned this while I was making this PowerPoint. I had to give a shout out. Ladies and gentlemen, the first Pokemon on the list, Mega Absol. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's about sending a message. It senses coming disasters and appears before people only to warn them of impending danger, much like this song that you're listening to right now. Because of this, Pokemon's ability to detect danger, people mistake Absol as the bringer of doom. So Chad, I'm gonna keep it a stat. Either the Absol is warning y'all of the coming disaster in fighting me, or he's warning me not to fight you. Either way, Magic Bounce is great, stops early entry hazards, Fake Out turn 1, Protect turn 2, better early value, better early info, better ingredients, Papa John's. And Mega Absol's warning me to cut to the next segment or else. So, without any further ado, let's talk about our next honorable mention. Ghosts. I was spooked. Get it? At how many ghost types I actually liked. I legit could have actually been an entire ghost trainer, but I decided for the sake of the team, we can only have one. Also, this. Gengar is actually, to my surprise, our first honorable mention on this list. Gengar's always been one of my favorites. I really love the shiny for the Mega Evolution. I love the lore. Here's where Gengar lost me. Gengar lost me on the lore. It's kind of lacking. I got a lot of Pokedex entries talking about how the temperature drops, or it literally just straight up commits murder and steals the life force of those around it. So I was thinking, not ideal teammate behavior. And you're going to see that come back a lot. It's a cool Pokemon. It's one of my favorites for sure, and that's why it's mentioned here in the PowerPoint. But a lot of these Pokemon are not ideal teammate behavior. Let's move on. Oh. Let's move on. Chandelure! I love Chandelure. But what I don't love is how it hypnotizes people during dinner parties and, murders them, basically. There's a reason why they live in haunted mansions. I like them from a distance. You know what I mean? I can love Chandelure from a distance. Cursola, I love for the lore. I'm just gonna read this and the implications that it has for the real world. Sudden climate change wiped out this ancient kind of Corsola. This Pokemon absorbs others' life source. Now here's the non-ideal behavior. It absorbs others' life force through its branches. Its shell is overflowing with heightened otherworld energy, right? So, not like the best, right? The ectoplasm serves as protection for the Pokemon's core spirit. I do love that. I think it's cool. But does it scream partner Pokemon? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I love Annihilate. Shout out to me always mixing this up with Infernape. I guess I just mix up my monkeys? Question mark? It's got kind of a pig nose thing going on. Anyway, I love the lore, but also it doesn't seem to work in his favor. When his anger rose beyond a critical point, this Pokemon gained power that is unfettered beyond the limits of its physical body. That's a nice way of saying he's dead. Like, he just straight up died. It imbues his fists with the power of rage that it's kept hidden in its heart. Opponents struck by this imbued fists will be shattered to the core. So, he got so mad, he blew up and died. Which I love. But also, I can't imagine he works well on the team. You know what I'm saying? So, I had to put him as an honorable mention. Ceruledge. Very cool Pokemon. But essentially, according to the lore, it just says over and over again, he's just a possessed bunch of swords. The fiery blades on its arms burn fiercely with the lingering resentment of a sword wielder who fell before accomplishing their goal. It's also kind of sad, because he obviously did not succeed in his goals. And finally, I did gotta put my boy Gholdengo on the list, or Gholdengo, if that's how you like to pronounce it. Shout out to the worst shiny in the game, by the way. Its body is made up of 1,000 coins. This Pokemon gets along well with others, and is quick to make friends with anybody. Look at his little smile. Look at his little smile. How do you not like that? But is he peak partner performance material? No. Now, you can guess by the song, we have quite an epic Pokemon coming. Ladies and gentlemen, the second Pokemon on the team. Give it up for Aegislash. Shiny. I love this shiny. Let's talk about it. Is there anyone who dislikes this Pokemon? I mean, 2 words. King's Shield. King's Shield. It's so cool. Look at this lore. Generations of kings were attended by these Pokemon, which used their spectral power to manipulate and control people and Pokemon. Apparently, it can detect innate qualities of leadership. According to legend, whoever it recognizes is destined to become king. Once upon a time, a king with an Aegislash reigned over the land. His Pokemon eventually drained him of life, and his kingdom fell with him. Wait, what? Alright, let's move on to the next group of Pokemon. These are the Pseudos. I definitely didn't learn that lore while I was making this PowerPoint. 75 slides in. But moving on. The Pseudo Legendaries are 600 base stats, pure aura. Basically, the way it goes is, if you don't like any of the Pseudos, you probably just don't like Pokemon, homie. Casually, I typically love to have a Pseudo in any game. But I've decided we should only have one on this team. The first. This is Dragapult. I've recently learned about Dragapult. I love that he carries Baby Dreepy in his little holes, or whatever you call that. I don't know. When it isn't battling, it keeps the Dreepy in the holes on its horns. Once a fight starts, it launches the Dreepy like supersonic missiles. I love that. I actually love that. Probably my second most favorite Pseudo. Just based on that lore. The Lil Dreepies! Up next is Hydreigon. Again, one of my favorites. Didn't quite make the cut. There are a slew of stories. Here's why. Listen to this lore. There are a slew of stories about villages that were destroyed by Hydreigon. It bites anything that moves. Anything that moves, chat. The 3 heads take turns sinking their teeth into the opponent. Like, what the hell? Their attacks won't slow until their target slows down. Or until their target goes down. Hydreigon might be one of my least favorites. Aww. Yeah, he's just a violent little angry Pokemon. Up next, we got Goodra. The opposite vibes of Hydreigon, which actually work against it in terms of why, like, hear me out. Sometimes it misunderstands instructions and appears dazed or bewildered. Many trainers don't mind finding this behavior to be adorable. Its form of offense is forcefully stretching out its horns, and the strike lands 100 times harder than any blow from the heavyweight boxer. So my thing is, right, Goodra is kind of boring. He's cute, but if his main thing is to misunderstand my instructions and look confused and cute, that's not peak partner Pokemon behavior. You know what I'm saying? All my homies hate Goodra. Hey, yo, that Goodra hate is real. Yeah, I like Goodra, but I don't think I can love Goodra. You know what I mean? Can't love Goodra. I don't feel strongly enough to defend him even. Metagross. I'm going to read this first. Metagross has 4 brains in total. Combined, the 4 brains can breeze through difficult calculations faster than a supercomputer. This Pokemon can float in the air by tucking in its 4 legs. Metagross is the result of 2 Metang achieving fusion. Here's the scary part. When hunting, this Pokemon pins the prey to the ground under its massive body, using the large mouth on its stomach. I'm sorry. That is just unacceptable partner Pokemon behavior. We can't be having that, bro. We can't be having that on the team. Shout out to the shiny. Metagross deserves the love, though. 100%, the Pokedex did frame him. Shout out to the shiny, and also shout out to the shiny Mega. Look at that boy. I didn't realize until I saw it like this. It looks like just the teeth. His nails look like teeth that are just closing in. It's terrifying. I love it. But he's just like Hydreigon, just a little too violent for me to put on the team and trust them. You'll see some of the other Pokemon. I can't trust them around the others, you know? So, next Pokemon. Salamence! There was one Metagross and we don't support him free, my boy. True? Fair. Steven can have him. Salamence! I love the lore behind Salamence. I actually love the lore behind Salamence. Salamence is maybe close second or third. Close. Salamence came about as a result... Oh, now I remember. The Pokedex entries in the prior, like in the early gens, make Salamence look really bad. And very recently, they're very positive. But the first, like, 5 gens, or I guess, like, Gen 3, 4, 5, are all about how violent he is. And these are the cool ones, and I thought I'd read them out loud. Salamence came about as a result of a strong, long-held dream of growing its wings. It said this powerful desire triggered a sudden mutation in this Pokemon's cells, causing it to sprout its magnificent wings. By evolving into Salamence, this Pokemon finally realized its long-held dream of growing wings. To express its joy, it flies and wheels all over the sky while spouting flames from its mouth. That makes him sound so nice. But I can't ignore the first 3 generations of just hate and anger that this Pokemon had. Like, we need to talk about that, okay? So, chat, I think this is the last one. Let me see. If you couldn't guess from the music... Oh, wait. We have Tyranitar. This Pokemon is a mobile disaster. The Pokedex is really out to get these pseudos. Tyranitar leaves mountains crumbled and houses destroyed in its wake. Guys, that's like every single entry I found said something like that. I'm like, bro. Yeah, Salamence is mid among pseudos. I agree in terms of like gameplay, but I just didn't want to... I mean, lore-wise, I love him. I actually love the lore. If it's like Gen 6 and on. But yeah, in terms of the Pokemon itself, you know what I mean? The lore can't always save the Pokemon. In this case, the lore works super against the Pokemon. I love Tyranitar as a Pokemon, and I would totally love to have him on a team, but not my ideal team. He's a global threat. Lock him up. Exactly. But chat, if you couldn't guess from the music, who's this Pokemon? You know him. You love him. It's Dragonite. Let's talk about it. It's a kind-hearted Pokemon that leads lost and foundering ships in a storm to the safety of the land. What? Come on, chat. I knew you wouldn't love this. I knew you'd hate this. Call me a Gen 1er, but I had to, okay? These were the only dragons that we even had for 2 generations. Kingdra who? No. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. Not the same in a weird way. Just kidding. Just kidding. But shout out to Claire. And huge shout out to Lance. Big fan. What murder? He's a good guy, chat. Lance is a good guy. He meant well. He meant well. And so at this point, I had to cut the PowerPoint was so big. I had to actually cut it in half. We're at 95 slides. I told you, though, this was going to go by pretty quickly. So far, so good. No crashes. I'm feeling good about that. Okay? Next, we're going to talk about our next group of honorable mentions. The Aura Farmers. They're just cool, okay? Enough said. Roll it. Honchkrow. It makes Murkrow cronies bring it food. It idles its time away, grooming itself in its nest. One cry from this Pokemon and a murder of Murkrow. That's a group of Murkrow, by the way. Biologically accurate. They come flying. At such times, one would think the curtain of night had fallen, plunging the world into jet black darkness. Yeah, your line was an industry planted, by the way. I did know you were going to say that. I love me some dark Pokemon. What can I say? Let's keep the train rolling. We got Crocodile. I love Crocodile, but its Pokedex entry does work against it. It's just talking about how many different ways it would kill me. Very violent Pokemon. They clamp down on anything that moves in front of their eyes. Anything. They never allow their prey to escape. Their jaws are so powerful they can crush the body of an automobile. And as much as I work out, I'm sorry, but that includes me. If it could crush the body of an automobile, I'm sorry, it'll crush your boy as well. But he's cool from a distance. Yeah, he should have been a pseudo. I agree, John. He should have been a pseudo. You know that cry? That's Noivern. Noivern is super cool. I love Noivern. I love having Noivern on my team. But if I'm traveling the world with him, I don't know if I can have an aggressive and cruel Pokemon. This Pokemon will ruthlessly torment enemies that are helpless in the dark. Helpless in the dark. Noivern is kind in the anime? Yeah, well, I can't guarantee that my Noivern... Like, what if I get a mean one? You know what I mean? You have to think, right? What personality would I get? If he's not naturally a kind-hearted Pokemon like Dragonite, this guy? I don't know. I do love him, though, and I do think he's one of the coolest Pokemon. Chat, every Pokemon that's listed here can be called one of my favorites. When you have 1,000 Pokemon, this is one of my favorite Pokemon, okay? But he's not on the top 6. Top 6 is aggressive. You know what I mean? Top 6 is very aggressive. I wanted Noivern too, but I get it. Yep. Shout out to the shiny, by the way. Shout out to the shiny. Ladies and gentlemen, the next edgelord is Crobat, keeping the bat train running. We got Crobat. I love Crobat. I don't know what it is, man. Give me a really cool bat type Pokemon. I'm here for it, man. It flies so silently through the dark. On its 4 wings, it may never be noticed, even when nearby. He's so sick, isn't he? He's so sick. I agree. Also, shout out to the shiny. Shout out to the shiny. Pink never looked so good. There's something about Crobat, man. Just, I mean, think about it. He came out in Gen 2. We didn't even have that many cool Pokemon, you know? So, shout out to Crobat. Very cool Pokemon. Crobat was never going to make, like, an ideal list, but he is, like, his cool points put him on this list. His cool points put him on this list. Corviknight. Ladies and gentlemen, this Pokemon reigns supreme in the skies of the Galar region. The black luster of its steel body could drive terror into the heart of any foe. Now, Corviknight was actually going to be on the team. I can't spoil why he's not on the team. All I'm going to say is there's another Pokemon that made the cut, and they wouldn't get along. I had to pick one. Chat, okay? I had to pick one. And you'll understand when you see the one that I picked, okay? So, chat. Up next, Excadrill. Very cool in design, but the lore was kind of boring. Corviknight got to be in the top 50, but he's kind of weak. Yeah. It's so weird how he's top 1 in Pokemon Go and, like, nothing else, you know? Corviknight is really cool for a Route 1 bird, but isn't my favorite. Same. Excadrill looks like a pussy. It's insane. What do you mean? Look at him. He's tough. Let's see what the Pokedex has to say about him. Known as the Drill King. Hey, yo. This Pokemon can tunnel through the terrain at speeds of over 90 miles per hour. That's such a specific, like, speed. Why didn't they just say 100? Why didn't they just say 100 miles per hour? That has to be a reference to something, but like, he's cool. He seems literally, yes, Ragin. He seems literally like an edgelord. He's self-aware. Exactly. Yeah, he's just, it's just, he looks kind of cool, but, like, if you had him around all the time, you'd probably get sick of him. You know what I mean? Like, he's that guy at the party. Cloyster. I personally love Cloyster. The very last competitive team that I ran actually had a Cloyster. Shell Smash, Skill Link, Rock Blast, Icicle Spear. It was sick. I think I had Scald on him as well. Its Pokedex entry is actually so boring. I'm just going to leave it here on the screen and leave it. Yeah, Cloyster would have made the team if I had an Onix on the team. But as we all know, Onix is just, like, literally one of the worst Pokemon ever invented. I think Oddish has a higher attack stat than Onix. Like, what? Or what are we doing? You know what I mean? But yes, if you know, you know. Onix and Cloyster, they in the same egg group. That's all I'm going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, Colossal! I actually really grew to love this Pokemon during our Soul Link. Shout out Demon Geo. This Pokemon's usually peaceful, but the vandalism of mines enrages it. Offenders will be incinerated with flames that reach 2700 Fahrenheit. Just crazy. He will literally burn you to death and probably melt you. I haven't looked up at what temperature humans actually melt, because I don't want to be added to a list. But I have to imagine 2700 degrees is probably going to do it. It's probably going to do it. So, and finally, Vikavolt. Again, it's just a cool... This is the coolest bug. This is the only bug I have on the entire PowerPoint. This is the coolest bug Pokemon I have ever seen in my entire life. It zips around on sharp lookout for an opening. It concentrates electrical energy within its large jaws and uses it to zap its enemies. It's insane. It's such a cool Pokemon. Vikavolt is the best Volt, and that shiny is epic. Yes, look at the shiny. Look at that shiny. So cool. He looks like the Batwing. Yeah, I had to put him on this list. Ladies and gentlemen, our Aura Farmer is none other than Gallade. Gallade, chat. Now, this was actually a shock to even me. This is my newest favorite, like, Pokemon. It was literally while I was putting this PowerPoint together. And the more and more I read, the more I liked. Take a look at this. Okay? Another Buns pick, you gotta go. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree. Order in the class. Order in the class. Hear me out. This is my Hear Me Out Pokemon. Due to its Honorable Warrior image, it uses the blades on its elbows only in defense of something or someone. Sharply attuned to others' wishes for help, this Pokemon seeks out those in need and aids them in battle. It keeps going! A master of courtesy and swordsmanship, it fights using the extending swords on its elbow. The blades extending from its elbows are sharper than the finest swords. Its swordsmanship, albeit self-taught, is astonishingly impressive. Gallade is fine, but that's all I can really say. Look at his pill-shaped hips. Hey, yo! Listen. I think he'd be perfect on the team, especially if he's in the middle of the lineup. I just feel like he wants to help people so bad. You know what I mean? He's just straight up hero vibes. Just straight up hero vibes, man. The last thing I promise that I will say about this, while I was reading, I learned that in Gen 9, he got an ability called Sharpness, which automatically raises the power of slicing moves by 50%. So think about it. Slash, Night Slash, Psycho Cut, Sacred Sword. You throw a Life Orb or Choice Band or Choice Scarf or anything on him. This is a broken Pokemon. This is actually a broken Pokemon. I haven't checked, but if he's not in OU, then he's definitely in Ubers. He has to be. You know what I'm saying? That is insane. Sharpness is awesome. Gallade is not. All right. All right, brother. We're moving on. Chat, we have to have a positive Pokemon. Let's be honest, we need some positivity. Without it, we're just a bunch of edgelords. We're just a bunch of edgelords. The following Pokemon were considered to be on the team to boost the morale. First up, Togekiss, aka the Flying Pop-Tart himself. Now, first I'll read it and then I'll tell you why he was actually not put on my team. This is usually one of my favorite Pokemon. These Pokemon are never seen anywhere near conflict or turmoil. Well, there you go. That's it. See, at first I remembered the Pokedex entry at the end where it says, known as the bringer of blessings, it's been depicted on good luck charms since ancient times. That's cool and all, but low-key, it doesn't bring good luck. It only shows up during times of peace. So, you know, yeah, I agree. He could not be in the top. Togekiss has never seen a fight in his life. Actually, he's very broken. He has super luck. And, or is it Serene Grace? I think he has Serene Grace and total flinch hacks. You flinch every time Togekiss hits you. It's insane. So first they use Thunder Wave. So that make sure they go first every time. And then they flinch hacks you. Flinch hacks you. And then if the flinch actually doesn't work, guess what? Always does. The paralysis. It's crazy. So, Meganium! Shout out to Bayleaf. Shout out to Bayleaf. I had to put Meganium on here. Also thought this was really like pro. The fragrance of Meganium's flower soothes and calms emotions. In battle, this Pokemon gives off more of its becalming scent to blunt the foe's fighting spirit. What a great support mom. Also, shout out to Pokemon Snap, the new Pokemon Snap with the Illumina Meganium. Very cool Pokemon. Very cool. Honestly, Meganium is my favorite Gen 2 starter. Same. That's what it was. Serene Grace, Air Slash, Thunder Wave, broken. The Raging Gage knows. He knows. Meganium is the only cool because of the Orange League. True, but also they brought him back for Illumina. And you got to remember, right? When Gen 2 came out, it was still a very cool Pokemon. I think it was, if not, it was like the second, maybe. Like the second actual like dinosaur Pokemon that ever came out. Pretty cool. I don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon's name. I've realized, okay? I always pronounce it melodic. I've always pronounced it melodic. I found that like 50% of the population literally calls it Milotic. So I don't know if you're there. You say Milotic? Yeah. See, there's Milotic, there's melodic, there's melodic, there's Milotic. There's just I give up. I say melodic because it's just easier to say. But like it is what it is. You know what I mean? However you pronounce it. Now, that said, I love this Pokemon competitively. He's a tank. He bulky. He a bulky water Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? However, when I looked up the Pokedex, majority of the entries were about how this is just the embodiment of beauty, and artists love to paint it. That's really it. If that's all the Pokedex has to say about you, I mean, that's pretty much, you know. And also, one of the Pokedex entries said, when people bicker, it is said to arise from the depths of lakes to becalm violent hearts. Now, I hear that, right? But this Pokemon came out in Gen 3. So where was Melodic? When Groudon and Kyogre were fighting. And yeah, that's how I pronounce those Pokemon names, by the way. Gen 3 is just a shit show in terms of how you pronounce Pokemon names. Like, it's very... I think they did it on purpose. That's how I pronounce all those names. But where was Melodic? You know what I'm saying? He ain't really showing up there. He ain't showing up on my team. You know? Kyogre. Exactly. I don't like... Wait, is that what I said? Kyogre. Yeah, it is what I said. It is what it is. Okay, when you say Kyogre out like that does make it sound pretty bad. And moving on. Shout out to the shiny. I will say, Melodic has one of the coolest shinies I've ever seen. Azumarill. I love Azumarill. His Pokedex entries are very, very boring. Chat, I'm very big on lore, okay? Very boring, though. This was my favorite one. Azumarill can make balloons out of air. It makes these air balloons if it spots a drowning Pokemon. The air balloons enable the Pokemon in trouble to breathe. I thought that was so cute. I was just like, aw, that's actually not bad. Azumarill would be 2 if not for Dex, not gonna lie. Now, don't forget though, Azumarill gets huge power, so it just doubles his attack. So now he's a bulky water type, but he got double the attack. I don't know if he still has huge power. If he doesn't, then remove everything I've just said. He's actually a terrible Pokemon. But if he does still have huge power, you have to consider him. You have to consider him as a threat. Azumarill is the reason we can't beat water levels in Sonic. That's probably true. Yeah, you're right. Yes, he has huge power. Shout out to the shiny. Chad, I had to do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't put me on a list. We had to put Beware on the chat. I didn't know about the lore in game. This Pokemon has a habit of hugging his companions. That's all he wants to do. However, the next sentence says, many trainers have left this world after their spines were squashed by his hug. I can't have this Pokemon on my team. You realize that, right? I can't have this Pokemon on my team. He says Worth. Okay, brother. Okay. You can hug him. I ain't gonna hug him. I think this might be the last one. Oh, we got I don't know how to pronounce this one, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's Farigiraf. Is it Farigiraf, chat? The other one I pronounce is Girafarig. So that means Farigiraf, right? Anyway. Cool Pokemon. I'd love to have it. I want to ride on its back. Like, I really want to ride on Farigiraf's back. Put a saddle. Yeah, saddle necessary, actually, now that I'm looking at it. But he's really boring on paper. It talks about how he's, like, stronger. Woo, he's stronger. Good job. You evolved, and now you're stronger. But yeah, I think it's a cool Pokemon. I love giraffes. That's really all I have to say about this. He's a Parasect giraffe. Exactly. And that's all he has going for him. But he would definitely boost the morale. I mean, look at him. He's, like, wearing a little hat. Anyway. I had to put Satitan on the list. I don't know why. I think Satitan is so cute. He's not. But I don't know. He's massive, by the way. And he would probably murder you. Just on accident. Like, he would step on you and you'd just die. This thing's like 11 feet tall, right? It's crazy. I don't know why. I think he's cute. I think he's cute. He's a mid-ass mon. I mean, you're not wrong. I can't argue. But did you know that this is what the shiny look like? I'm just saying. I think the shiny version is the main reason why I added him. Because I'm like, dude, that's a really cool shiny. That's a really cool shiny. I'm sorry. So, yes, he is on the honorable mentions. Very cool Pokemon. Cute in the normal form. Looks very cool. You can make anything cool if it's black and red. I 100% agree. That's the most powerful color combination, in my opinion. But I had to pick a cute Pokemon. I had to pick one that boosted morale. That's just the vibes here. So what did I pick? Just kidding. Not yet. Chad, I have to talk about Salazzle. Salazzle's a cool Pokemon. I learned about him when I first played Pokemon Gen 9, Scarlet Violet. Also, I love this like Yas energy from the decks. For some reason, only females have been found. It creates a reverse harem of male Salandit that it lives with. It punishes Salandit that couldn't bring it food with a fierce slap. Its flame-spewing palm. Yo, the strongest Zestimon. I like it. But anyway, also shout out to the shiny. Just look at her. Yeah, Salazzle. Slay. Okay, chat. What Pokemon did I pick? Just kidding. We have to talk about Hydrapple. Okay, Hydrapple is the newest Pokemon on this entire PowerPoint. And so because of it, if you notice all the other models, they're like animated, right? I had to deal with a still form. I couldn't find a 3D model of Hydrapple. So to make up for it, I did bring in a video. Hydrapple is such a cool Pokemon. There's 7 serpents in there, by the way. And the serpent, they spell it syrup, serpent. So the serpent in the center is the commander. The capricious serpents have banded together. On rare occasion that their moods align, their true power is unleashed. Now, I have a link here to show what this looks like. Guys, if you didn't know how Hydrapple worked, here it is. Okay, and this is the shiny Hydrapple. It's golden, by the way. But it gets this move, right, called Fickle Beam. And it's base 80, Dragon, Stab. The user shoots a beam of light to inflict damage. Sometimes all the user's heads shoot the beams in unison, doubling the move's power. Huh? What? And it has really cool animation for it too. So I've muted the video so I don't get like DMCA or whatever. But we have to talk about this. Here's what it looks like. It's just a freaking, it's like a mini Hyper Beam. And I think they're running Life Orb on it. Here's what happens when they all cooperate. It's going all out. Wow, it's just amazing. What a badass Pokemon, dude. You gotta give the shout out. You gotta give the shout out to Hydrapple. So yeah, he's running Life Orb. And yeah, that's I just needed to show that, okay? Y'all needed to see that, okay? Moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, we had to do it. We had to pick Tinkaton. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about it. Yes, Fickle Beam is only on Hydrapple, I believe. This intelligent Pokemon has a very daring disposition. The smallest Pokemon on our team, by the way. 2 foot like 3. It's tiny. It knocks rocks into the sky with its hammer, aiming for flying Corviknight. This is why we couldn't have Corviknight on the team. They would just not have it. They would just not have it. The hammer, by the way, weighs over 220 pounds, yet he swings it around easily, and he steals whatever she wants, and she carries its plunder back home. So hear me out. Yes, it's her fault the Corviknight taxis were not a thing in Gen 9. And yes, she's a verified thief. But look at her! This was very recent. Hikatun's first anime appearance. Look at her just bouncing, throwing the 220 pounds around, by the way. Just destroying this Corviknight. Also that's just what it looks like in the game. Like, hello? Come on. Amy Rose Pokemon looking at. Exactly. Put her in Sonic 4. The movie. Alright, chat. It's finally time. She has a Pico Pico hammer canonically. True. True. It's time to talk about our ace Pokemon. This is it. Who's the #1 go-to Pokemon on the team? Ash had Pikachu, Cynthia had Garchomp, and Leon had Charizard, I guess. Your mom has Mr. Mime. I definitely said Mr. Mime, chat. Anyway, let's see which ones were in the running. Up first, I had to give a shout out to my boy Espeon. It's just a cool Pokemon, honestly. It can read the weather and your mind. And I think he's got like this house cat kind of vibe. Like he'd be cool as a comfort Pokemon, but also he can kick ass. I almost put a shout out to the shiny. I don't think I did. I don't know. Green is a little much. Green is a little much. But yeah. But shout out. We had to give a shout out, right? Flygon. I love Flygon. These are just Pokemon that like match my energy, and I feel like Flygon does it, man. Known as a desert spirit, this Pokemon hides in the sandstorms. It caused by beating its wings. It's amazing. Scrafty. While mostly known for having a temperament of an aggressive ruffian, this Pokemon takes very good care of its family, friends, and territory. What a good guy, Greg. I mean, shout out if you even catch that. Scrappy definitely has your vibe. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. Also, I didn't actually know this until I was putting this PowerPoint together. What's up, Darkrai? I didn't know this. Look at this shiny. Oh my god. What a cool shiny. Am I right? Darkrai, this is a VOD you're gonna wanna catch. This is a VOD you're gonna wanna catch. Flygon is so underrated, and Scrafty is cool as fuck. Thank you. Yes, I agree. Hello there. Hello there. I think Flygon should get a Mega Evolution, and I think I'd love it if Scrafty got one. I don't think he's gonna get one. I will say this though. I'm calling it now. Right now, today is May 31st, 8:48 p.m. I'm calling it. We're gonna get Mega Noivern. I'm calling it, chat. We're getting Mega Noivern. Remind me later. I'll show you why. Ladies and gentlemen, give a shiny Scrafty. I'm so jealous. We had to put Toxtricity on the list. Let's talk about this. The first thing. What's up, lady? Do you see your outfit? No, I didn't see it. I'll check it in a minute. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yo, you like the call out? Yes, good. Toxtricity is such a cool Pokemon. Okay, first of all, the electric one on the left is the it's the high energy one. I forget what it's called, like the electrified form, I think. The blue one on the right is called the low key one. The one on the left generates electricity and uses it to make it sound like a guitar, which is so cool. And the one on the right makes it sound like a bass guitar, which is so cool. Just look at him, just like, man, what an Aura King. What an Aura King, bro. You think Amped is way better? I actually agree, but I did want to give honorable mention where honorable mention is due, because he has a freaking, he also has like a keyboard. Oh no, not that kind of organ. But he does like, I mean, he has a bass guitar. It's just so, he just does the slap bass, the slap of the bass. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. Yeah, like everybody can like one of the vibes, right? Everybody can. So shout out to them. Also shout out to the Gigantamax. This was a very cool Gigantamax that I think a lot of people sleep on. I've never actually encountered it. I've just seen it either in Pokemon Go or on lists while I was making my tier lists. It has, in my opinion, the second coolest Gigantamax. The coolest Gigantamax goes to Lapras. Look at it. It has literal aura flying around it in orbit. Orbital aura. I'm sorry. It's so cool. I had to read this. Over 5,000 people can ride on its shell at once. How big is this boy? How big is this boy? Chat, it's insane. Okay. Also, it's a comfortable ride, blah, 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 blah. He has a huge ring of gathered ice particles. It uses the ring to smash against icebergs, by the way. So, move over Titanic, okay? Just so that it can continue swimming gracefully. Like, you gotta love it. That was the shell opening up. What? It opened up? I didn't even think about that. You're right. That's crazy. True, facts, and fair. True, facts, and fair. We had to give a shout out to Inteleon, one of the coolest starters of all time. All time. It has many hidden capabilities, such as its fingertips that can shoot water, like James Bond, and a membrane on its back that can allow it to glide through the air. So cool. I had to put it on here. Just look at it. Again, Aura Mongerer. Aura Mongerer, chat. All right. Riding the starter train, we had to put Meowscarada. It's so cool. It uses
Intel Ion doesn't shoot me, I'd be mad.
Exactly. I mean, you're right. You're right. If it doesn't shoot me, I'd be mad. Inteleon. If Intel Ion. I was like, what are we saying here? Yes, if Intel Ion. Yeah. Didn't shoot you, I'd be mad. I'd be mad too. You know what I'm saying? I'd be mad too. This Pokemon uses reflective fur lining its cape to camouflage the stem of the flower. So what does that mean? It means he's actually holding that little stem. He's holding the stem of the flower with his tail, which is cool. And then the tail camouflages. I thought the more you think about that, the cooler it is. And then using that misdirection, it rigs foes with pollen-packed flower bombs. The Meowscarada sets off the bombs before its foes realize what's even happening, which is crazy. I like it. I used it. I liked it. You know what I mean? Also, I could not put Meowscarada on this list. Oh, wait, that's a little early. Hold on, we'll go back. I could not put Meowscarada on this list in good faith without mentioning the actual coolest starter ever. Greninja. Shout out to Ash Greninja, by the way. We will never see him in any games ever again. Probably. It appears and vanishes with a ninja's grace. It toys with its enemies using swift movements while slicing them with throwing stars of sharpest water. Literally so cool. Literally so cool. You're right, I made a severe continuous lapse in judgment. At least you admitted it. Yeah. Battle Bond is forever gone. Or yeah, we'll never see it again. Ash Greninja is dead, but he lived his way. Yes. Also, shout out to probably the coolest the coolest shiny starter of all time. All time. It does not get cooler than this. It just doesn't. You're right. You're right, John. I got a thing for the black and red. I got a thing for the black and red color code. Like, it's just so good. It looks so good. Charizard's cooler, but it's not. Because he doesn't have red. He's only black. If he had black and red, then he would be cooler. But he doesn't. Shiny Sceptile? Wait, show me shiny Sceptile. Send me that. I want to see that. I'm not familiar. I'm actually open to that. Before I hit the next button, I do need to see what shiny Sceptile looks like. I know what shiny Charizard looks like. But can you send me that? I'm open to research. I'm open to research. He's pulling it up, chat. I trust it. I trust it. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. Oh, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. He's got like red eyes. I put him on third, though. He's on the pedestal, like he's on the podium. It's a 3 for me, dog. For me, it goes Greninja, Charizard, Sceptile. I could say that with confidence. I can say that. All right, chat. Pyro, I live. Good. Welcome back. Welcome back, Pyro. Okay, guys. So what Pokemon did I pick as my number 1 ace? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back early on this one. I need to paint a picture for you. Okay? I need to paint a picture for you. Imagine you're 10 years old again. You grew up around Pokemon. You thought you knew them all. You played Pokemon with your friends. You had the poster. You had the bed. You had plushies. You played the card game. Everything. Everything. You beat your very first game. Let's call it gold and silver. And you did it the best possible way, by the way. Side note, you started gold. And then before you got too far, you went back, you beat red. Then you went back to gold and you finished it. You did it the right way, chat. So you're the champion of Johto. You're the champion of Kanto. You're at the end game now. There's one last mountain to explore. You've seen everything in the game by now. You know all the Pokemon. At least you thought you did. Who is that? I haven't seen this one yet. I haven't even heard of it. How is that possible? There's nothing in the Pokedex about it. Chat, I had to share this story with you because there's no other way you could possibly understand how I felt about this Pokemon. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no other way you could possibly believe me when I tell you Sneasel is my ace. Because for me, this was that. That was my Ash seeing the Ho-Oh at the end of episode 1 moment. Sneasel's so goated. Yes, we have Sneasel fans out there. Let's go. Let's go, Sneasel. Chat, Pokemon is, I think, really cool because of the endless possibilities, you know? And when Ash looked up at the end of episode 1 and saw a complete new Pokemon that wasn't even in the Pokedex for another like 3 years or something like that, it just showed that like this is an expanding, living, breathing world. It's fictional, but it's expanding and living, and it's constantly going to have new things to explore, and I love that feeling. What up, Casey? Yeah, it's so wholesome. I loved it, you know? And so for me, when this Pokemon showed up on my screen, and I was like, what? There's a Pokemon I've never seen before? The real ones already knew. The real ones already knew. Now, I love normal Sneasel. And then it goes, the new shiny Weavile, the red one. The not pink one. I like the shiny Hisuian Sneasel. And then shiny Sneasler, I guess, in that order. Shout out to Weevil for being in the OU again, baby. And Sneasler, my god. Sneasler's in Ubers. Sneasler is banned. Sneasler is actually banned in Gen 9. Like, that's how good he is, okay? So, yeah, like, I don't think Weevil's ever even been in Ubers. It's crazy. So shout out to Sneasler. I do prefer Weavile better, but I recognize Sneasler's game. You ever feel a strange, unexplained connection to a Pokemon? Chat, this is that. And I think everybody has a Pokemon like that. And that's why Sneasel is my favorite. So tell me, what's your team look like? I bet it's super different, and you have completely different reasons, and all of your reasons are valid. I'd love to hear about it either in chat now, or if you're watching this on YouTube, in the comments below. I actually want to know, what does your team look like? You know, do you have any Pokemon that stand out as like completely different that nobody else picks or fights for? You know, or do you just like the best, strongest Pokemon? You know, like you super competitive. Do you have a theme going? Do you have mixed typing? How does that look? Solid team. Thank you. So thank you again for watching. This has been so fun to make. And let me know if you guys like this kind of stream and or video, because I actually had a blast making it, and I would be totally down to make PowerPoints on a regular basis. You have good opinions? Yes. Hi, YouTube. That's so, yeah. But yeah, what'd you guys think? The team is peak. Let's go. I feel like it actually would do not so bad in competitive. Maybe like OU. Maybe. I don't know how Tinkaton does in OU. Create. Thank you, Clap. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, chat, if you had a good time, even if you don't know what's going on, type in Clap with a capital C. Thank you. Your narrating is top tier. Yes. Top tier narrating. Thank you. Oh, that music ended abruptly.